Today I'm going to be showing you how to easily install a dash cam into your car. Not only that, but we're going to be hardwiring it into our fuse box, so that way it gives a nice clean look and we don't have to worry about turning it on and off every time we get in and out of the car. For this installation, we're going to need our dash cam of choice. Then we're going to need our hardwire kit over here, which is going to be running to our fuse box. And then of course an SD card to put into our dash cam. First thing we're going to want to do is unbox our dash cam and then get to mounting it on the windshield itself. Now I've already unpackaged this one, but here's a dash cam over here. Here's a little mounting tab. And underneath everything is a 3M adhesive used to attach the mounting pad, which will clip in to the dash cam. So what I got to figure out is where on the windshield I want to mount this. The dash cam that you're using may have a little bit of a different mounting system, so just go ahead and follow the instructions that are given to you with your dash cam in order to properly install this on the car. I've decided that I'm going to mount my dash cam in this general area right here, which is right above my cell phone mount. I would like to go a little bit higher and hide the dash cam from my visibility, but I have window tint all the way up over here, and so I don't want to put the adhesive onto my window tint, so I'm just going to stick it as high as I possibly can, which will probably be right around here. Since I've decided the area, I'm going to go and take my window cleaner and clean up the glass in this area. That way when I stick my adhesive over here, it actually has a nice surface to adhere to. I've gone ahead and applied the double-sided tape that was supplied with the dash camera on the dash camera mounting bracket. I've then taken a close look at how this mounting bracket works with the dash camera itself. So what I'm going to do next is remove the protective backing on this other side of the adhesive tape and stick on the mounting bracket to the windshield. That is the mounting bracket installed. I'm going to give it about 20 minutes now before I actually go and put my dash cam on there as it says in the instructions, and then we can move on to our next step. Okay, I've waited about 20 minutes, so I'm going to go and put my dash cam onto the mounting bracket. There we go. It's exactly where I want it to be. And since the dash cam is in its place, we can move on to running the wire and actually hardwiring it to the car. The dash cam itself actually comes with its own wiring, but it's meant to run into a cigarette lighter, and this obviously isn't a hardwired installation, which is why I'm going to be using this hardwire kit over here, which the link for this is going to be available in the description below. Open it up. The specific kit that I chose is going to supply you with 2 different types of fuse taps, so that way you have a choice of which one fits in your vehicle. And then it also comes with the main bit of wire that's going to be used to power your dash cam. Not only that, but it takes the 12 volts down to 5 volts, which is what's required for my specific dash cam. All right, I'm going to plug in the cable to the dash cam. Perfect. I'm going to be running it up over here along the headliner, down the A-pillar, and to the fuse box, which is the pretty standard way to go about it. For tucking the wire into the headliner, you can basically just gently pull back on the headliner, and there's enough room over here for the wire to tuck, no problem. Okay. Once we reach this point, we're going to want to tuck behind the A-pillar over here. Now a lot of the times you can actually, without even removing this A-pillar cover, get the wire behind here, but on this car it's a little bit difficult. So what I'm going to be doing is actually just removing this A-pillar cover so I can tuck the wire completely behind here. That way it's completely unseen. Now each car is going to be a little bit different on how you remove this A-pillar cover, but on this car specifically, I'm going to go and remove the weather stripping first. And it pulls back just like that. Then there's a little clip which needs to get undone at the top behind this panel, which is a little hard to reach, but I've already done that. And the cover can be pulled up, and we have it out of the way. Now I could continue tucking my wire. It's behind the headliner. And as you can see, a previous owner already ran some additional wiring behind here. And with the wire running right behind here, I'm going to reinstall the A-pillar cover so I can tuck everything behind. I'm going to reinstall my weather stripping as well. So you can see all of our wiring coming out right here. So what I got to do now is run this to the fuse box. On this specific car, the fuse box is actually right here, and you can see all the fuses in there. And on most cars, there's going to be a fuse box over here on the side or under the dash panel over here. So it's usually going to be in this general area. To get a little bit more working room, I'm also going to pop off this cover, which my dash camera kit actually came with a interior trim removal tool. There we go. And now we have even more access to the fuse box. At this point of the process, these fuse taps are going to be the next piece of the puzzle, and these are basically going to replace one of the fuses over here and plug into them, and then you will take that fuse out, put it over here, and then put another fuse in for your dash cam. So it's basically going to turn your one fuse slot into two. And with the Hardwire kit I specifically chose, I have two different choices of fuses to tap into and replace and give me two out. So this right here is going to be the trickiest part of the process, which we're going to need to find a ground, and we're also going to need to find a fuse that only gives power when the ignition is on, because we don't want our dash cam running the entire time even when our car isn't running. The easiest way to test this is to get a multimeter, set it to your DC volts over here. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take your red cable over here, which is for your positive, and you're going to put it on one of the exposed metal pins over here on your fuse, and then take your negative and put it onto a ground, which I've already tested, and this is the ground. So for instance, this is on a fuse right here. We touch our ground and that's getting power right now. So we don't want to take that one because otherwise your dash cam is going to be on all the time. We're going to move a fuse over and we're going to check that. See, that one gets 0 volts right now. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on my car and see if it gets voltage when the car is turned on. So I've put my key in and I've turned it, and we could tell we're going to put it back on our 5, and over here now it's getting 12 volts. So this is going to be a good fuse to replace over here because it'll give us 12 volts with the key turned and 0 with the key of the car not turned. I'm going to take my little 5 amp fuse out because we're going to be replacing it. There we go. And then I'm going to be putting my fuse tap in, but before I do that, I'm going to go and replace this 5 amp and put it back in its spot. The fuse slot that's closest to this end is the one that you're going to be replacing, and then the fuse slot closest to the outer side over here is the one that's going to be running for your dash cam. Then I have a 3 amp mini fuse over here, which is going to be running for the dash cam. Boom. Then we'll quickly test it. The key in. Yep, I'm getting 12 volts to my 2 fuses. And with the key not turned, I got 0. So perfect. Now I'm going to take my wiring that's coming from the dash cam. I'm going to put it into the connector right here. And I'm going to crimp it. And with that done, the wire is now connected to our fuse tap over here. And with that, the only thing left is to actually go and attach this ground. And I found a ground down here earlier, so I'm just going to back this out just a little. Then I got my ground cable over here. I'm going to be putting it in from the top. Doing that. There we go, the ground is hooked up. Fuse tap is done. Wire is crimped. The wire is ran. Before we wrap up all the wiring and tuck it away, let's just test the system and make sure it works. I'm gonna turn the key. And as you can see, the dash cam came on, so all of our wiring is good. Now we can tuck it away. For tucking up all the extra wire, we're basically just gonna bundle it together. I'll put one zip tie over here. Okay, cut this off. And this should be able to tuck. That should be able to tuck there. Same with that. Another zip tie. Cut that off. Should be able to tuck there. Boom. Tuck over here. And just like that, all of our wiring is tucked up nice and clean. We put our panel back on. Simple. There we go. Doesn't even look like we touched anything. And just to wrap it up for an even cleaner look, we're going to take one of these adhesive tabs that was included with my dash cam, clip the wiring into it, and stick that up here. So now I got a nice path for my wire to go. And can't forget the SD card. There we go. That wraps up our installation. We have our dash cam mounted over there, wire running up, tucking behind the headliner, tucking into the A-pillar, and then running down into our fuse box, getting wired in, and that's it. And of course, make sure to follow the setup instructions for your specific dash cam, so that way you get all the settings right and set up exactly how you want it to be. That's it. I hope this video was helpful to you guys. Not only that, but I would just highly recommend that everyone runs a dash cam in their car, just because if there is any incident on the road, you do actually have video record of what happened, because there just tends to be a lot of people that try and lie about things when it comes down to insurance claims. So at least with a dash cam, you have some sort of video proof of what happened during whatever road incident that takes place. But besides that, please give this video a thumbs up if you like it. If you have any suggestions, of course, make sure to leave it in the comments. Subscribe if you want to stay up to date with all the newer videos coming out. And of course, all the product links are in the description below, as well as our Patreon link to help support the channel. And also go to offbeatgarage.com if you're interested in any merchandise. Anyways, that's it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. So here is the airplanes, man.